Our next speaker is Renee Jones, author of What's Really Eating You, Overcoming the Triggers of Comfort Eating. She's a counselor and coach who has spent 40 years on a diet until she overcame her own comfort eating. Welcome, Renee Jones.
Imagine this, losing the weight you want to lose and keeping it off. Many people do that diet yo-yo thing where you lose and regain the same weight over and over again. It's incredibly unhealthy, and I was incredibly guilty of that for 40 years. And I have to say, I do not recommend it. It's expensive too, because you have all these sizes in your closet. No kidding. At one point, I had 4 different sizes in my closet. Now, they had numbers, but I called them my skinny clothes, my watch yourself now clothes, my fat clothes, and my seriously Renee clothes. I'd start off a diet and do pretty well for a while, but then something would happen and I'd go straight to the refrigerator. Peanut butter would make me feel better. I'd whip off that checkered lid, and before it came to rest on the countertop, my spoon was plunged in, and oh, that lovely, salty, crunchy goodness. Sure, I could start again on Monday, and probably the Monday after that, but every New Year's resolution for me was lose weight again. In 2012, I was staring down my 50th birthday, and I knew something had to change. Thing is, I knew all the diets. I just couldn't stick to them. So I did some research, and I ran across this idea that I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Only eat when you are hungry. Huh? Only when you're hungry? Where's the fun in that? But that idea joggled my world. You see, in my family, when we were upset about something, we ate. If we got a bit bored, we ate. If you need some comfort, that's it. We ate to soothe ourselves. And emotional eating sabotaged every diet I ever tried. Recently, Harvard released a study they called Diet Fits. And they were looking for how genetics played a role in weight loss. They didn't find that. But what they did find was that the issue was not the diet. The issue was emotional eating. Indeed. Well, it took me a while, but I finally lost my weight. And the best part, 5 years later, I have not gained it back. I learned other ways to comfort myself. And since then, I've helped lots of women and a few men get a handle on their emotional eating. I believe you have it within you to get free of emotional eating. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how. So, how do we lose weight and keep it off? Well, we can do 3 steps. Step 1, break that diet yo-yo mindset. Like many of you, I didn't believe it was possible to lose weight and keep it off. But when we break that diet yo-yo mindset, we start from the belief that it is possible to succeed. Can you find that belief within you? And if not, a couple of questions. What skills or talents do you have that have helped you succeed in other areas? How do you apply that to this? What is it that makes you believe you can't succeed? Do you want to succeed? And for some of you, is there a danger for you in succeeding? We have to tease out these subtle beliefs and agreements we've made that trap us in that mindset. And you might find that trap is nothing more than tissue paper. Step 2. Recognize that a diet isn't just for weight loss. What you learn is training in what works for your body. You know what I learned from all those diets? Portion sizes. Our portion sizes are so skewed. For example, depending on your program, a portion size of protein is about the size of your palm. Measure that against your standard restaurant serving. I learned food combinations and new recipes that actually kept me satisfied, and what just made me crazy with cravings. See, for me, carbohydrates, they always want more. They like to bring their little friends along and usually deposit themselves on my hips. So I have to manage them or they will kick up my cravings, and that's not good. I learned go-to meals and snacks for when I was in a rush. Here's a pro tip for you. If over-hunger kicks up your emotional eating, carry a small snack in the car for the drive home so you don't want to eat the house when you get there. You see, I learned what worked for me and what would be sustainable for a lifetime. That's key. What would work for you? Okay, step 3. Can we just talk about that emotional eating thing? What drives us to food? Well, food is easy. It's available. It's legal. And the effect? Instantaneous. The food that we go to for comfort floods our brains with dopamine. And dopamine is that neurotransmitter that controls the pleasure and reward center in your brain. So it's actually a physical response. You eat something pleasurable, you get the dopamine, and you feel better. It just works for a little while. The single most effective element for my weight loss and maintaining it was this mantra: face your stuff, don't stuff your face. Instead of simply reaching for food when I was upset or stressed, I had to learn what was going on for me. What was I trying to stuff down and follow with a food chaser? Because if I think about it for a minute, then I can get back to my best self. And my best self makes much better choices. The root of emotional eating doesn't have to be some trauma, although it might be. It might be an experience you had or a belief you picked up along the way. Or it might be a tender memory. My grandmother loved peanut butter just as much as I did. Even the sight of the jar can connect me with my Nana. Even more, it's a tangible connection to the encouragement she gave me. Do you see how that works? So what about you? What food do you go to for comfort? Close your eyes a minute. Let's think about this. Can you see that food? Can you smell it? Can you almost taste it? Now think, where did I first have that food? Who gave it to me? What was going on? And how did it comfort me? And then, how else can I meet that need? Okay, you can open your eyes. Because you see, once we figure out what's going on for us, then we can face our stuff and we can make better choices about meeting that need. So here's what I know. You can lose the weight and keep it off if you break that blinking diet yo-yo mindset. You can lose the weight and keep it off if you learn from your experience and do what works for you. You can lose the weight and keep it off if you recognize what drives you to food and face it. You can lose the weight and keep it off. Thank you.
3 tips are really interesting. I really thought they were great about how to break the yo-yo diet habit. I love when she said, deal with your stuff, not stuff your face.
Renee is an awesome speaker. I can totally relate to this comfort eating. I've suffered from it for years, been trying to work on it myself. Every time I get stressed, every time I'm trying to sit around, there I go, I start eating all that stuff I shouldn't. So I totally took away a lot from today's speech, and really going to appreciate it. Thank you.
I really liked what Renee said about comfort eating. I know that in my own life, I miss how I was when I was a kid, and certain successes brought certain meals at home. And I think when I want to make myself feel better, I find that food. And I need to know that I'm okay and not rush to that food when I don't feel okay. So I really liked what she said about recognizing the comfort food from your past and not letting it affect your future.